Okay.
Put her to
Uh,
sleep.
Hey, I thought I'd chime in and address the nuance that Ray, forgive me, I can't see
yep.
everybody's full names. And when I go to press on it, I get some totally different thing. So, but Ray, you mentioned the Laffer curve. And in so doing, he introduces a very good point. And that is when Linda McQuaig and Neil Brooks were analyzing the data from, in the 1950s and the 1960s and so on in Canada, and talking about how great things were back then when we just had a much higher upper marginal tax rate. Well, to Ray's point, and he might not have necessarily been thinking about this, but this is kind of the point he's making. That was in the 50s and the 60s. You could do things with taxation rates in the 50s and the 60s that you kind of can't do now because of globalization, right? So you push tax rates too high, especially for corporations, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, fine, I'll go somewhere else," right? And they were kind of they hadn't really thought of that as much in the 50s and the 60s. They just think, "Wow, man, I guess tax rates have gone up. I guess I have to pay it." But yeah, different world now. So to your point, yeah, the that optimal tax rate um, uh, invariably is much lower now for corporations and for individuals as well, especially wealthy individuals, especially really wealthy individuals, than it was back then.
Hey,
Um,
Art, you sound like you've got a significant background in these kind of topics. What is your background? Because I like what you're saying. I'd love to learn more.
Oh yeah, hey. Well, it's just what I'm speaking from when I touch on economics is just my teaching career. So I taught economics for 30 years,